Doug and Chuck, thank you. Okay. All right, agenda questions. Please limit your questions at this time to resolutions under new business on this agenda. As a matter of fairness, you're asked to limit your questions to no more than one, and your remarks to no longer than 3 minutes. If you're here representing a group, please identify yourself, the group and your position in the group. If you are here as an individual, please give us your name and address. This section of public participation will be limited to 15 minutes. Okay, all right, thank you. Superintendent's report.
I do, I have one this evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. One of the things that I had mentioned at the last meeting was the review of our district website. And I had told you that district administrators had kind of come together and met with 3 different service providers. What we wanted to do is we wanted to update our district website and taking a look at others that are in other districts and our own. We've had it in place for almost about 10 years, and although the principals have really done a great job in updating the website as much as they could, we wanted to update it on a district level. We wanted it to have a uniformed look. We wanted it to be of a responsive design, and for those of you who know anything about websites, that means that if you open it up on your cell phone or you open it up on your tablet, it will automatically fit to what it is that you're working with. Ours doesn't do that if you've tried to do that. So we wanted that responsive design. We also wanted the ability to have a mobile app. A lot of districts are beginning to do that now. We wanted that ability. We also wanted a video app. We wanted to be able to put music and to put action on our website because our pictures move, but we wanted it to have a little bit more life and be more vibrant. We have chosen a company. That company is Schoolwires. It does a lot of Bergen County. They take care of a lot of Bergen County websites. It's a pretty incredible process because you don't get rid of everything that you have on your website. You migrate it over to a new format and to a new template. And that takes a little bit of time, and in order for that to happen, our people need to be trained accordingly. There's about 3 days of training that needs to take place for a couple of our tech people and a couple of our principals who will be able to turnkey that out. We also think that the timing of this is important, and there are a lot of initiatives going on right now. So it is our hope to roll out our new website on August 1st. That will allow some training to take place. It will also allow our school not to be in total session, and for if there are any tweaks that need to be made, although we'll be live, we can still take care of what we need to. Some websites offer the ability to do special alerts and those kinds of things. If you've ever gone onto our website and seen school closed and it pops up, we'll still have that ability, but we'll also be able to do it with each of the other 6 websites or the school websites. So if there's a special announcement that Mr. Miller may have at the Ridge, he'll be able to put those special alerts up. We're still maintaining our one-call system. That will be what we'll use to get our information out. We don't think it's necessary to change what already works. But we are excited about moving forward with a new website and choosing a new template and making it new and refreshed. So that'll be more information coming, but know that we're in process with proposals in place and we'll be moving forward. That's pretty much it for me. You're going to talk a little bit about a couple of things as well, right?
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any open issues that we need to address? Good with that, right? Okay. Personnel?
Briefly, we will be, as Dr. Schoen has already explained last meeting, I'll be presenting park information with regards to a brief synopsis of the test itself, as well as how we are managing the test logistically throughout the district. So I'll be presenting with Kevin Ulmer, our testing coordinator. And then following that presentation will be communication to the community, parents, and staff via a written letter and frequently asked questions. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
President's report. I wanted to congratulate the Mahwah High School Band. A number of students won positions on the 2015 All-State Band. That's wonderful. Not a surprise to me because they're just outstanding, and I just want to congratulate those students. The All-State Band will perform at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark on February 21st. So congratulations to them. We're very proud of them. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Great. Yeah. All right. Board committee reports. Anybody?
Yep. Finance met briefly tonight, and on 15D we have 3 policies that are on the agenda for second reading and adoption, and all three are mandated.
Rick, that was, who met tonight?
The policy.
Okay. So it said finance.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody's on different committees now, so it's, okay.
I don't even know.
All right, thank you. Any others? Yes.
Yeah, and negotiation met for internal preparation purposes, and our expectation is that we'll be at least exchanging content with the MEA within a week or so. We're gonna try to get some dates together on that, but get the process rolling so that we can get moving on it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Suzanne?
PR, we don't have a meeting until first meeting in March, but if anyone on the board has any suggestions that wants to discuss at it, please forward it to me.
Do you have a date in March or not there?
The 4th, I believe it's our
Fourth?
first meeting.
All right. Thank you. Anything
Chris,
else?
yeah, along those same lines, Finance Committee's gonna meet February 18th at 6 PM, just before the board meeting. So if you can't make it, for whatever reason, please give that a note.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Board member remarks? Okay. All right, old business, minutes. Do I have a motion? John, and a second? Kim?
We'll do roll call.
Okay.
14A, Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. Silva,
Yes.
Mr. Denise,
Yes.
Mr. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Evanetti,
Yes.
Mr. Salverini, Mrs. Barron,
Yes.
Mr. Curry,
Abstain.
and Mrs. Davis.
Yes. Okay, new business, I'm gonna group 15A through I. Okay, do I have a motion? John and Rick, thank you.
If it's okay, I had received a note from the high school at the end of the afternoon that on D, conferences, workshops, the third workshop down, if you could replace Stacy Mandel with Joanne Barnard.
I guess the people who moved it
Can we change
to,
that?
okay, you guys, those who moved it,
Yeah.
are you okay with those
Yeah.
changes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, any discussion? Okay,
15A through I, Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. Silva,
Yes.
Mr. Denise,
Yes.
Mr. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Evanetti,
Yes.
Mr. Salverini.
Yes.
Mrs. Barron.
Yes.
Mr. Curry.
Yes.
And Mrs. Davis.
yes. Okay, 16, new business, I'd like to group A through C, please. Do I have a motion? Rick, and second? John, thank you. Discussion? Okay,
16A through C, Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. Silva.
Yes.
Mr. Denise.
Yes.
Mr. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Evanetti,
Yes.
Mr. Salverini, Mrs. Barron.
Yes.
Mr. Curry.
Yes.
And Mrs. Davis.
yes. Public questions or comment? This section of public participation will be limited to 15 minutes.
Evelyn Slockbauer, 43 Thunderhead Place. I just had a question about when you're, in the summertime, when you're working on switching over the new website, is there a possibility for perhaps maybe the HSO presidents to be a part of that from a parent's perspective as to, you know, looking at it before you finalize things and saying, oh, you know, this maybe doesn't work so well from our point of view?
I think that's a great question, but I think the best way to do it is when I meet with the HSO presidents, which I do 2 or 3 times a year, and I have everyone here and the vice presidents and the treasurers and be able to give them an update and have them give me input, because the best time to do it is before it's moved over, as the template needs to be designed.
Okay, so
for
they'll
that
be
meeting.
working it with you during the
What I'm
process and
thinking is that they
seeing.
give me the input and I know that the HSOs are interested in a tab that says thus and so, then I'll know it as we're designing that template well before it's migrated. So I'll look to have their input in that forum,
Okay.
as opposed to try to coordinate in the summer, which becomes all sorts of difficult with vacation schedules. But I think that that's a real good point.
Okay,
Ask for their input.
and there'll be the, as far as worksheets handed out from teachers and everything, we'll be able to download them straight from perhaps the website?
I don't have an answer for that, Mrs. Lockbauer. We're
Okay.
gonna talk about.
I'm gonna
different
keep asking.
It's okay, and you can, and when I do, I will, and I don't wanna make one up for you. I think that that's a process that I'd like to talk about with administrators. There are a number of different vehicles we can use to do that. A school website is one of those. Cloud-based services are another.
Okay.
So I want to talk about what we're going to do as far as that's concerned.
Because if they could be attached to the homework assignment, right?
No, I understand what you're
Okay.
asking for, and I believe that that's
Okay.
utilized by some teachers already. What we can do on a uniform level, I'm not quite sure yet.
Okay.
So it would be premature for me to tell you that a whole district's going to operate in a way that I'm not sure yet.
Okay,
Make sense?
and just make sure that everything's consistent, so when we go from one school to the next, that,
I will do my very
thank
best.
you,
Mrs. Lockwood.
thank you.
very much.
Yes, hi, my name is Amy Haber, and I live at 15 Winter Street. I have a couple of notes just to keep myself on track. I'm here to talk to you about a letter and video that I sent to all of you this morning. For those of you who didn't see it, Linda Mavertish and I set out with a camera in hand, video camera in hand yesterday, to show everyone what it's like for a student to walk to school who lives within the 2 to 2.5 mile radius of the no bus zone. We walked along the snow-covered, dangerous, and sometimes terrifying pedestrian route that our children are expected to follow to the ridge at Mahwah High School. We climbed through mountains of snow and finally had to resort to walking in the street many times. I think I have a few more grays on my hair, I don't know about you, but someone pointed out who saw the video that I wasn't carrying my trombone nor my 20-pound backpack on my route either. Even in good weather, I feel that Mahwah's terrain, lack of sidewalks, blind spots, major highways running through the middle of our town, the pedestrian route is just very unsafe for our children. I live off of Miller Road, where a white line that's drawn on the side of the road, and there's like a 1.5 I guess 2 feet area for the children to walk. I wouldn't even walk my dog there, to be honest with you. Let alone let the most important things in my life walk there. They could easily be sideswiped by cars. I was told that this has been brought up to the Board of Education in the past, and you considered subscription busing, which would cost residents anywhere between $200 and $300 per child if there were enough people. I have 2 children in Mahwah that both go to the Ridge and high school, and $600 to me and my family is very expensive, and I'm sure it is for many Mahwah families. Mahwah is not your typical Bergen County town. We have mountains, highways, streets without sidewalks, and because of this, the town is unable to provide the children living in those no busing zones a safe route to school. In fact, I know there was a crossing guard over by Linda that was hit by a car recently. Without providing a safe route for children, I feel it is unfair for the town to ask the residents to pay for this. So I ask you, instead of looking at what other districts are doing, what the law states, I ask that you look at what the children of Mahwah really need to keep them safe. I would like to ask the Board of Education to find some way of reallocating your money and your budget and provide the much-needed busing to all students in Mahwah. Regardless of where they live, every child in Mahwah should be given the opportunity to arrive to school and come home safely. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your email, we did receive them. This is something that's an ongoing discussion, and the Finance and Facilities meeting is coming up on the 18th, so that will be something that they can begin discussions at that time.
Okay, is that something I have to bring up to them, or is that something they'll discuss anyway, or?
Well, they're here, Mrs.
They're
Haber,
here,
so.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
In other words, the
Yeah.
committee
I didn't
members,
realize that.
committees
Okay.
are made up of 3 or 4
Yes.
members
Okay.
at max of a board, so the facility committee
Okay.
members here.
Okay, and then at the next board meeting, they would say what their findings were?
Well, it might be a few meetings.
Okay.
If there is some discussion, we'd have to get information, so it's not just a matter of just sitting, making a decision and moving on. We'd have to gather a lot more information than that, but as soon as we have something, we will, we can let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Haber, thank you for your email. I did, as the board knows, I did share that with them today, and most of them at this point, I'm sure, had the ability to see the video,
Yeah.
which we did as well. One of the things you know is a concern in bringing it to your attention right now is all the snow that we had and the difficulty in removing it and the temperatures. I did reach out to the mayor today. It's my understanding that all those sidewalks were cleared.
They were,
As of today.
however, that strip that they're expected to walk on both Miller Road and Airmont Road are still fully covered. You can't even see the white line.
All right, because I'm not as familiar as you are with that,
Yeah.
is that located by any of the townhouses?
No, it's up by Cragmere, but up past the Betsy Ross School, like on either side of the Betsy Ross School. on
If
this
you're
side.
going up to Betsy Ross, they
Yes,
let you go
it's
up
up
to is Miller.
here.
Can I turn on to?
Turn on to Malcolm.
I do.
So, yeah, so going up Miller and on Airmont on the same thing. I live at the top of Miller.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Contacted
have to watch your
DPW
video.
about clearing it?
It's still,
Fire station.
Did I
Yes, it's
Have you
personally?
contacted
Road, that hill.
DPW about clearing?
No, I haven't. I was dealing with all of this today, so I didn't get a chance to call myself. And I
So it's on
drove
both
my
sides of
kids
Betsy
because,
Ross.
like I said, I would
Yes.
not expect them to
Yeah.
walk this way.
but just to throw it out there, that they,
Yeah.
this is a good place where the Mahwah Delivers app that the mayor put together, I think a year or two ago now, where you can take pictures and say exactly where it is to make sure it goes straight to him.
Okay.
Because you're right, it wasn't clear in time for school, and like you said, it's still not clear.
Right.
Well,
I just feel that
the-
it's
This is
not,
Miller.
even in good weather, it's, you know, my kids are walking over a major highway. There's no guardrails, there's nothing. I mean, you know, tractor trailers are making U-turns inches away from their bodies. It just, even in great weather, it's just not a great situation. We're in a really, you know, special situation in Mahwah. We're not like every other town in Bergen County. So, you know, that's my opinion there.
The
The-
pictures that you sent, the ones for Miller and Airmont
Yes.
today, that's what you're referring to?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I will, this won't address your long-term, but it will address the short-term. So I'll reach out to DPW and see what we can do to get that taken
Thank
care of.
The problem with those two streets, because I live right by Rick, and I have the same problem with that hill, is they're painted lines, so it's not a sidewalk. So the plow plows and the snow goes
up on that
up
area.
on that area, and, you know, that's why it
I
gets
understand.
covered. So that's the issue with it. So there's no place else really for the snow to go.
In that case, with the two streets
For
we're
those,
talking about here.
but,
I
yeah,
understand.
and those are also the hills that, I know that last ice storm on Miller, I think there were at least 4 or 5 cars involved in accidents on that hill,
Sounds like a DPW issue.
so.
Yeah, but if they're not able to provide us sidewalks, I mean, they're gonna start installing sidewalks, I just don't see how it's a safe route, no matter what. The fact is, they're not clearing it, and it's slippery and, you know, so.
And we're still asking our kids to cross the highway to get to school. I mean, I would walk across the highway.
So
thank
there's
you
no
very much.
bridge for them to get over the highway? They're actually cutting across Route 17?
No, there's these, obviously the overpass, but they're on a very narrow sidewalk with, there's no guardrail, nothing,
Excuse me, thank you.
so,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments.
thanks for listening.
Okay. Any other? Yes.
We are currently watching, I'm a teacher.
May
I'm
I have
Mahwah.
just your name, just so.
Jim Toronto. We're currently watching these videos, these GCN videos. And I would never try and attempt to teach my children with the way they are trying to educate me. Okay, they are very much an insult to anybody's intelligence. I watch a video and I cannot read it at my pace. I have to listen to somebody read it to me. And when he's done reading it, I then beep and it goes to the next slide. With time being so valuable, is there a better way to do this next year? And I've also, there's one on affirmative action and I don't hire anybody. But yet I have to watch a half hour of how to hire someone when I don't hire anyone.
May I?
By all means.
I think your question is a great one. Unfortunately, the board that surrounds us this evening is unfamiliar with a lot of what it is that you're talking about because there are a lot of mandates that we have to have. So we came out with these GCN video It's not necessarily called a series, it's a group of videos, the majority, if not all of which are state mandated trainings that our teachers need to take part in.
What does it stand for, GCN?
Global Compliance Network.
So with that said, what I'm hearing for the first time is that the way in which you're being trained is not necessarily conducive to the way in which you learn, and you're not necessarily appreciating.
Exactly.
Okay. My first question to you is have you spoken to Mr. Miller about this?
I didn't think he is the state that mandated it.
No, he's not the state that's mandated it, but he is the state of leadership in your building. So
Oh,
the first
I
thing
fully
that-
understand that.
the
I'm
first
not
thing that I would-
attempting in any way to go over him. It's just that he's not making that decision. So to
No.
go to somebody who's not making the decision and complain doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
And I completely understand what you're saying, although he is the closest.
You make that decision,
I do.
right?
And I appreciate that, but we haven't sat down and had an individual conversation about that either, for me to understand where you're coming from as well. So Mr. Miller is not aware, and now we're having a conversation now, so it would, if you're okay with that, I can reach out to you tomorrow and we can spend some time together and we can talk about it so that I completely understand, because in order for me to change it to something that's more conducive, then I need to know exactly what it is that's occurring so I can look for something that's a little bit more suitable.
But you're familiar with how they do,
I am.
okay?
I am, and you are the first person that has brought this and your concerns to my attention, and as real as they are, it's important, I think, that we spend some time together so that I can understand that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn? John and Suzanne, thank you. All in favor?
I